Good morning, Sergeant Ames.
Good morning, sir.
And are you a sergeant?
I am.
Okay. Where are you currently, what's your current occupation?
I'm in the IB, sir.
Okay.
Internal Affairs Bureau.
And
Internal Affairs.
during the period of time, February 24th, 2023, through the end of 2024, where were you assigned?
I was assigned to DFS in November 2024 to February 2025.
So he was
Before that,
forensics.
I was a street supervisor.
Okay. So I'm going to have you take a look at some exhibits.
So, Department of Forensic Science during the time of this case. I wonder if he's one of the 12
Here, I'm
that
gonna
whittled
use
away,
the,
whittled
Okay.
down.
overhead if I can.
It's fine, we'll switch over to that. You just have to hit the button on the top. Okay.
Sir, can you see that document?
I can, sir.
Let me just straighten it out. Are you familiar with that document?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm specifically looking at, and I'll just put my pen in there, at this particular area. Is that something that you authored?
I did, sir.
And so the sign out is Ames. That's you?
That is me.
And this is your title here.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is it that you're doing here with regard to this communication?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the witness reading from the item. It hasn't been identified or offered in evidence.
I don't think the question was to read it.
No, it was not
Okay.
treated.
All right, I'll overrule the objection at this point.
What were you doing? This appears to be an email thread. What were you doing?
Looking at the email, it looks like I received something from Lieutenant Joshua, and I was sending it out amongst the people who work for me. It looks like I CC'd my captain.
Judge, I am going to object. He's reading from the letter. If his recollection of
right.
this email is such that he can testify to its contents, then certainly.
So it'd be a foundation objection.
Yes,
Sustain that objection.
And so this is an email that you authored and you sent on to your colleagues. Is that correct?
Going to object again.
That is correct.
Okay. Your Honor, I move this in as a Commonwealth's Exhibit number 88.
Any objection to that?
No.
Okay, 88 in evidence, and we can
Now, I would
publish
just
it
like
to the
to
jury.
ask you
State
another
is
question.
fighting.
The people that you were saying you were writing to were people that were within your section, is that correct?
It looks like I CC'd my commanders and two of the detectives that work for me.
Okay, and the two detectives are both named Brendan Miller?
Yes, sir.
And is one of those detectives the digital forensics analyst for this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and he's obviously in your section, and is this officer in your chain of command?
No, sir.
Okay, what?
Your Honor, counsel's making reference. He said this officer. I'm not sure who he's speaking
If you
about.
could, just
I
for
was just
records.
pointing, yes, I won't point, sir. David Giacchio, it says Lieutenant David Giacchio.
He was not in my division.
Okay, and yet he's communicating you regarding, what is it he's communicating about?
An executive summary?
Okay, is that Brendan Miller's executive summary? Do you recall?
I don't recall, but looking at this, I would have to say.
Judge, I'm going to object to any further answer. He does not recall.
No, overruled. You can finish answering, that's fine.
You can finish answering, you were saying, but looking at this,
It appears to be an executive summary.
okay. Now, was there a particular executive summary that Brendan Miller completed that was at issue while you were there in cybersecurity?
There was no executive summary issued while I was there. I was only there for 4 months, sir.
Okay. Was there, were you aware of any disputes with the executive summary, either within your division or another division?
I know that executive summaries are written on every case.
How about this case? How much contact did you have with this case during your time there?
With this case, not very much contact at all, sir.
Okay, and so what we're seeing is the extent of your contact?
Pretty much, sir.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to take 87 off, and I'm going to have you look at,
Judge, I believe that was 88.
I'm sorry?
Is that correct? He referenced 87.
Oh, sorry.
That was
Did I
88.
say-
We just did 88, yes.
okay, then that was 88 that I took off.
Right.
I'm going to identify what will be marked as Defense Exhibit 89. Can you see that email?
I can't.
Okay, and is that appear to be an email that you forwarded on?
It is.
Actually, you know what, I'll just let you tell me what it is.
It looks like Lieutenant Joshua forwarded a proffer to me,
Okay,
and then I forwarded it on to my detectives and CC'd my supervisors.
okay, and you said a proffer, or are there two proffers there?
I don't know. Normally the system works where you get two different angles. I can't recall
Okay,
if that's one or two.
so you never examined those proffers?
No, I'm sure I clicked on them before a meeting, but I don't recall if it's two separate parts or if it's just two angles.
Okay, and
He doesn't want this in. Oh, man.
where you sign off as Ames, that's you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Sergeant Brian Ames, all of the things relating to that were correct as of the time of this writing on
Yes, sir.
November 8th, 2024?
Yes, sir.
And you're CCing, I assume, superiors?
Chain of command, yes,
Chain
sir.
of command, okay. And Brendan Miller and Brendan Miller are the two people that this is directed to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, they're in your chain of command. Would that be an order that you're providing them? Here, I move this in as Commonwealth's Exhibit 89,
Any objection?
No.
All right, 89 evidence?
if we can have that published.
I mean, yes, I guess since I'm their supervisor, if I send them that, I guess it could be perceived as a command, but that's not really the way it works. It's their detectives looking at a case.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about that. By saying their detectives looking at a case, you're saying you leave the detectives alone to do their thing?
I'm saying that I had 4 months there. I wasn't really caught up to speed on digital forensics. That's not my specialty. Like I haven't been trained in that.
Okay, so you're a supervisor for the people that are trained and as experts? Okay. And as a sergeant, in your chain of command, are you being ordered to do something by the lieutenant from homicide?
I think I'm being asked to look at this, like this is the way information sharing would happen, is we're not homicide detectives over in that squad. We're kind of, we're a support unit over there, so that's how the information would come in.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, cyber investigator, Criminal Investigations, Cyber and Forensics Bureau is a support bureau for homicide?
Well, specifically digital forensics is a support bureau for all the other bureaus when they have digital evidence.
Okay. And is it common for the lieutenants from other bureaus to communicate with you in this way, to have your detectives do things?
No, there's a lot of back and forth. Like I kind of, when I was in that position, I kind of feel the calls, send stuff up the chain of command, figure out what the detectives think are best for the case, stuff like that.
Okay, so you're going up the chain of command. Is it something related to the communications that you're receiving, or is that something that you would do with every communication?
Since I was a newer sergeant at the time, it was my understanding the expectation out of my command was to link them into pretty much everything that I was doing.
Okay, in the form of, in the immediate moment you received an email?
If I was doing ESRs, like they got them, if we had a case that was unusual, or if we had anything, like I said, I was a newer sergeant. It was my understanding, the expectation on me was to forward stuff up my chain of command. That is correct.
Okay, so this is commonplace, what these emails show?
I would say at that point, when I was in DFS, with me being newer, I looped them in on a lot of stuff.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, I've moved 89.
89
correct?
is in evidence.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to have you look at what will be marked as Defense Exhibit 90. Do you recognize that? I know you send a million emails
Yeah,
a day,
I
but
send
do you
them all.
recognize this particular one?
Yes, this is my email, sir.
Okay, and this, and I'm pointing with my pen, appears to be you, that's the way you would sign off?
Yes.
And this would be all of the information that's accurate as to where you were working at the time?
Yes, sir.
And what about this up here? What was that? Do you have any idea?
I don't know without seeing it. I mean, based on the context here, it looks like it's a timeline
Okay.
from Lieutenant Joshua
Okay.
related to the proffer.
Do you know, and let me just call your attention to, and this is 89, correct?
That's 90.
90. Your Honor, I moved this in as Exhibit 90.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
90 in evidence and published?
Sir, I'm going to put 89 there next to it.
Okay, not published? 89. Oh, he's put 89, okay.
I didn't ask you about, with regard to 89. Do you know what that is?
I mean, given the context of this, it appears that it's a timeline related to this case.
Okay. And I'm going to have you look back at 88. Do you know what the attachment was on 88? And when I say do you know, I'm asking, did you open it or did you look at it or anything like that?
I mean, I'm sure I looked at it, but if you're asking me right now if I know what that is exactly, all I can say is I can assume that it's an executive summary that has to do with this case.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, on 88, you've added Brendan Miller's, I guess, B1 and B3 they're called?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On 89, you added Brendan Miller, and then CC'd your command staff?
Yes.
And on 90, I don't see Brendan Miller. Would that have been forwarded to them, or is this just specifically for your command staff?
That's just for my command staff.
Okay. And so there wouldn't be an additional email to show what you sent to Brendan Miller and Brendan Miller?
I don't believe so, given the context of this. I don't believe I forwarded that, but I don't know.
This appears to be dated November 7th, 2024. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And let me go back to 89. This was dated November 8th, 2024, correct?
Yes, sir.
And number 88 is dated November 8th, 2024 as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to Sir, do you see that on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and same questions. Is this how you sign out?
It is, sir.
Okay, and this information is all correct?
No, that is, maybe I didn't change my,
All right, you guys wanted to read the email? All right, hold on. Okay, so we've got the double Brendans up at the top, Brendan D. Miller and Brendan C. Miller, and the CCs. It says Digital Forensics Section Executive Summary is the attached document, and then says B1 and B3. So there must be a Brendan 2. We will also need to revisit this document in light of the proffer. Please let me know if you have any questions. That's all that said from Sergeant Brian Ames. Let's see. We were like here.
Change my signature line at that point.
Okay.
I don't know exactly when my first day was up there,
Okay.
but that was my previous position.
Okay, and that's your email, correct? You authored that email?
It is.
Okay. And in this, just to point out a few things, November 8th, 2024, and it's to your command staff, not to the Brendan Miller and Brendan Miller. And there's an attachment, and that's the same, appears to be the same attachment as number 88. Is that I can show you 88 again if you'd like.
I mean, it appears the same, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
And this email is from Lieutenant.
I'm going to object to the leading.
Who's this email from?
I object to leading, and I object to the continued characterization of the items in the email that the witness has indicated he does
Legal
not recognize and
basis.
cannot tell the court or the jury what they are.
I understand. As to leading, I'll sustain leading.
Who's this email from?
Appears to be Lieutenant Joshua, sir.
Okay, and nothing's changed about his position or your position since we looked at 88, 89, 90?
I'm not sure why my title line is like that. I don't know. I believe at this point I'm in DFS, given the fact that I'm writing emails to that chain of command. I don't know why my subject line is different.
That's fine, as long as you can identify that as your email, that's fine.
That is my email.
Your Honor, I'd move this in as Defendant's Exhibit 91.
Any objection?
Yes, Judge, I'd object. It contains statements made by a party not testifying would be hearsay.
All right.
Your
I
Honor,
assume that's a hearsay objection?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would just identify that for now.
You just identify, you don't want to put it in evidence?
I won't put it into evidence. I'll put it into evidence when I call the next
Okay,
witness.
so
Yes,
91's
we're going to
not
get all the
okay.
officers.
Next question.
It's going to be a day of law enforcement called by the defense.
Now, Sergeant Ames, in your training as an investigator, are you the type of investigator that follows the evidence, or are you the type of investigator that follows a theory before the evidence is developed?
Me as an investigator, I go with evidence.
Okay. As an investigator, when you question individuals that may be suspected of a crime, do you let them just tell you the story without challenge?
Objection is to leading.
All right, sustain as to leading, if you want.
What, if anything, do you do when you question a suspect in terms of their story?
I mean, I have a conversation with them, sir.
Okay. And if the conversation isn't consistent with the evidence that you have, how do you handle that?
I mean, if I have the opportunity, I clarify it.
Okay. And in clarifying, what is it exactly that you're doing when you have a dispute with, or conflict with what you know versus what the person's saying?
Can you ask that again, sir?
When you have a situation as an investigator that you're trained to be, and the facts as you know them are different than what the person is saying to you in the story or whatever conversation you're having, how do you handle that?
I mean, if I have the opportunity, I follow up and ask questions that I need to know the answers to.
Okay. And would there be any reason that you wouldn't have the opportunity if you're talking to them?
No, I mean, defendants, if you're talking about a suspect of a crime, I mean, they don't have to tell you. You can ask the questions, they don't have to tell you if that's what you're asking.
Well, I'm just asking, say, let's assume that nobody's claiming the Fifth Amendment. There's just a statement based upon what the evidence you know. What I'm trying to get at is how do you get to the evidence to determine if what you know is correct through the person that you suspect is the criminal?
If you're asking what I do, I generally ask questions till I understand.
Okay. And in terms of the types of questions, how do you do that, or how were you trained to do that?
Judge, I'd object to relevance. At this point, I'm not sure where we're going with this witness.
I think it's relevant to the investigations that would go on in any case, in any criminal case.
I'll sustain the objection as to relevance to this case.
in that situation that we were just talking about, would you challenge an individual or not challenge an individual?
Same objection, Judge, relevance.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay, I'll move on, Judge.
Protect Juliana at all costs. She's our entire case.
Defense Exhibit 88, 89, 90 have been moved into evidence.
Yes.
91 is been identified by you, sir. Were there any other additional communications, either telephone or meetings relating to the subject matter of these 3 exhibits that you know of?
This has been so long ago now, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, there quite possibly could be another email or text. I don't know.
Okay, I'm just asking if you know of something. I'm not asking for you to speculate.
I don't know.
During the time frame you were there, I think you said February 25 was when you left?
I believe it was February 25.
Okay.
You know what? Let me give one prop to this defense attorney. That's a great question to ask right here, right after this guy just said it was so long ago I don't remember. But this is less than 2 years ago.
Had Brendan Miller, the digital forensics detective in this case, had he been transferred at that point?
I think he transferred either right before or right after I left.
Okay. Did you have any role in his transfer, whether administrative or making the decision?
No, not making the decision. I think my role was figure out where Miller wanted to go initially and just be a first-line supervisor for him.
Okay. And would that include, would that first-line supervisor role, would you have a lot of contact with him?
I mean, I had contact with him every day.
Okay. And would the contact that you had with him be related to the Banfield case?
Have you ever been to a cabin?
If things came up, yes, I would have contact with him about the Banfield case, but it wasn't, it's not like I'm doing forensics or anything. If questions come up, I generally shoot an email at my chain of command or stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not advising him how to go through data or anything like that. It's, my job was, you know, I had other things that I was doing, budgets and distributing cases, new cases coming in.
Okay. Did you have anything, were you a decision maker in his transfer?
No.
Do you have any idea why he was transferred?
I wasn't brought into those conversations. I pretty much was told that the decision had been made, I wasn't involved in those.
Okay. And was there anything that you were told about the decision that was made?
Not that I can remember. I mean, there was, right, it's a police department. There's rumors going around, but I don't know what would make the difference. But I don't know where the rumors would stop and what, I don't think I was told specifically why he was being transferred.
Okay, well, I don't want to put you in that spot, so if you don't know. Were you aware of how the experience that Brendan Miller had? The one that was transferred?
I knew that he was I can't think of the terminology, certified, yes, I know that Miller is experienced.
Okay. And And he'd been there for how long, do you think, prior to you leaving, or prior to him being transferred?
I don't know.
Okay. In terms of your making the decisions of assignment of cases, where would he be in the decision process for you?
I don't know what you're asking, sir.
Would he be one of the more experienced ones that you would assign to, or one of the less experienced ones?
The other Miller was kind of the person who I bounced what we were going to do. He was the other Miller was the more senior Miller on the squad, so I bounced most of my decisions off of him.
Okay, and then he'd assist you with that?
He would, yes, he would assist me in that.
And do you know how long he had been in the digital forensic section?
No.
Okay,
I know it was a while, but I don't know.
okay. Judge, I don't have any further questions.
All right, cross-examination.
I'm going to leave 91 there, if that's okay.
Oh, that's fine.
Good morning, how are
Good
you?
morning, ma'am. How you doing?
All right, so just so we're
You can breathe a
clear,
sigh of relief.
you weren't in digital forensics very long, correct?
I was not.
Okay, and you didn't get involved in any of the actual digital forensics involved in this case, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you weren't involved in Detective Miller's transfer,
No, ma'am.
and you weren't involved in Detective Miller's work on this case, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. These emails you've been shown, you just passed them on, is that correct?
That is correct.
They didn't require any specific action of you, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and those requests were to examine the evidence in this case in the context of new evidence that had been received, isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you change, distort, or hide any evidence in this case?
No, ma'am.
Did you direct anyone to change, distort, or hide any evidence in this case?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, nothing further.
All right, any redirect?
You didn't ask that question of Miller.
Sir, I appreciate your answers. Did you feel as though anyone was suggesting that you distorted, changed, or did anything to evidence based
Yeah.
on these emails?
No.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any further questions.
Is he subject to recall?
No, Your Honor.
No, ma'am.
All right, you're free to go, sir. Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Your
Have
next
a good day.
witness?
Can you submit?
Excuse me?